Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. You know that here on Wake Up Call, we have an exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with the Binghamton University Bearcats. And in that partnership, Tuesdays offer you Bearcat Time, right around 10 a.m. Eastern Time each week. We honor the Binghamton University Bearcats by featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year in what we call the Bearcat Breakroom. We're here today with Cory Day of the Binghamton University Wrestling program as their student athlete here as a graduate student, and we have a lot to discuss coming off of the Big Red and Cory having an awesome time out there in the way that he performed, as well as a bunch of other accolades I want to get into today, and some background on Binghamton University and what their wrestling conference looks like. So with that being said, Cory, how are you?
Good morning to you. I'm not too bad. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. And Cory, first and foremost, to just give people a little background, you and I were talking about this off the air, but to look at what wrestling has, you're inside of the EWA, which is the Eastern Intercollegiate Wrestling Association. They have just entered into a new chapter, as the league announced earlier on here, that they will have two new divisions. So starting with this current 2024-25 season, we have 12 members in the conference. They will be split into the Independence Division and the Patriot Division. The teams that will compete will compete against each other for a divisional championship throughout the year. And in 2025-26, the league will launch a full divisional dual meet schedule. So with that being said, Binghamton is in the Independence Division. In that division with you are Drexel, Franklin and Marshall, Hofstra, LIU for Long Island University, Morgan State, and Sacred Heart. In the Patriot Division, American, Army West Point, Bucknell, Lehigh, and Navy are on that side of things. So taking a look at that and how it breaks up, we heard from the president of, looking back at this, Binghamton head wrestling coach and EWA Coaches Association president Kyle Borshoff said, quote, creating two divisions within the EWA provides the opportunity for member teams to establish dual meet consistency and create exciting rivalries that our fans can count on seeing year in and year out. And went on to say, creating the Independence and Patriot divisions allows us to highlight the excitement that surrounds the dual meet portion of our season as all of our teams work to establish themselves as divisional champions. Now, the first time Binghamton will wrestle a team in the Independence division will be against LIU on my grandmother's birthday, G-Mama up in heaven. That is on Sunday, December 15th. Then the Bearcats will have the remaining 5 teams in the division throughout January and February. Binghamton will host Hofstra on Thursday, January 9th. And then a couple weeks after that, the Bearcats will compete at Franklin and Marshall and Drexel on Saturday, January 18th at noon, and then at 6 p.m. to follow respectively at Drexel. From there, Binghamton will travel to Maryland to wrestle at Morgan State on Friday, February 7th, and will host Sacred Heart on Sunday, February 9th. And of course, the Bearcats were in action this past Sunday, November 24th, a couple days ago, with one group competing at Army West Point in the Army West Point Black Knight Invitational, and another at Cornell's Big Red Invitational, which is where Cory Day was. So, Cory, I mean, hearing from Coach Kyle and what he had to say about what this does and his thoughts on it, 2 divisions now that are going to separate the EWA into the Independence and the Patriot divisions. Just what your thoughts are on the future of wrestling as far as the EWA goes, and just what you could say about the level of competition.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of what Kyle said. It's an exciting time. Now every year we're going to be able to establish like what schools we're going to be able to compete against every year, and like you said, it's going to build some rivalries and stuff like that. And in sports, who doesn't like rivalries, right? So that's pretty exciting. We're going to get to compete against the same teams every year, and then obviously outside of that, you get to expand a little bit and wrestle else, whoever you else want throughout the year. But just to have some consistency will be pretty nice and exciting.
Yeah, I mean, we take a look at the season has just begun here early on here, and we saw a Wranglemania with the University of Illinois, and then we're looking at the Journeyman Collegiate Classic, just had the Big Red Invitational and the Black Knight Invitational. Coming up from there, the Cliff Keen Las Vegas Collegiate Wrestling Invitational, which will be December 6th and 7th in Las Vegas, Nevada. and then the match against LIU that you'll have, which will be on December 15th that I mentioned inside of the EWA in Brookville, New York. And then the Journeyman Collegiate Duels will have Penn State University, who's currently ranked number 1, University of Missouri, which is ranked number 8, and Little Rock, who's ranked number 20. Those are all on December 22nd in Nashville, or 20th, pardon me, in Nashville, Tennessee. 22nd. Okay, let me do that again. December 22nd. I was looking at the 20th ranking for Little Rock. So all of that will be on December 22nd, the Journeyman Collegiate Duels. Then the Arm Bar will have the University of Maryland, Lock Haven University, and Columbia that you'll have for Binghamton. And then we'll see those EWAs, Hofstra, Lehigh, Franklin, and Marshall, Drexel. You have Harvard this year. You have Brown, Cornell, University of Pittsburgh. Then the EWA goes back with Morgan State and Sacred Heart. Then you have University at Buffalo. And then for Army inside of the EWA, and then the EWA Championship. So there is a ton on the schedule. It is a mouthful to go through. But I'm looking at Penn State, Missouri, Little Rock, Maryland. Of course, you got your Harvards, your Columbias, your Browns. You have Cornell. And then, of course, the EWA and what that brings within it that we mentioned, those teams. What can you say about the level of competition you're going to have this season?
It's going to be tough, but that's just an exciting time. The one thing that comes to mind when we go through that schedule is just opportunity. Being at Binghamton you're kind of at a school that you're always going to be the underdog, kind of. So, and everyone likes the underdog, so that's pretty cool. But going against Penn State, you said is number 1, and Missouri's number 8, Little Rock's number 20. That is just a great opportunity for every single one of us on the team. We're all going to get to wrestle a dude that's top ranked or ranked pretty high, and to come away with some upsets there will be pretty exciting and put Binghamton on the map a little bit. So just really excited for this season and all the opportunity that we have this year. And you got to wrestle these tough teams throughout the year, because at the very end of the year you're going to wrestle tough matches regardless. Yeah. So you definitely want the hard competitions all throughout the year to just train hard, and when it comes down to it at the end of the year, you want to be prepared.
And for you, with the Big Red that you just went to, just what you could say about the Big Red Invitational and your experience there. You ended up finishing the Big Red Invitational for yourself, and you won your bracket this past Sunday, a couple days ago, in the Big Red Invitational. For those that don't know, when they say you've won your bracket in the Big Red, bring me into what that is, who you defeated, just what your matchup or matchups were, winning your own piece of the bracket in the Big Red, just what that entails.
Yeah, so basically, there's a couple different styles of tournaments that you can enter into. You could have a tournament style, or you can have a round robin. This Big Red Invitational was a round robin tournament. Basically, everyone in your pool, per se, you're going to have wrestle. Rather than if it's a tournament, you're going to wrestle who you meet in the bracket. So it was a round robin tournament where my pool had 4 people in it, so I got to wrestle 3 different opponents. Everyone wrestled everyone. I first started off with wrestling the Clarion kid, and then I went into wrestling the Cornell kid, and then followed the evening with one of the Brown wrestlers. So just a little bit of everything I got there. It was a pretty cool experience. Very well tournament. The team wrestled very well, but it was just a really good Sunday to compete at.
Like you said, with it being a round robin, you competed against 3 other wrestlers. Just what you can say personally you took away from that round robin competition and who you went up against.
Oh man, it's just cool because you get to wrestle a lot more people usually, because sometimes you get into these tournaments and for some of my teammates, you just you just wrestle until you either place or finish or get kicked out. So you get a lot of opportunity there with wrestling everyone there. For me personally, I got to wrestle these 3 kids that I mentioned previously, but got to wrestle a little bit of different styles. The Clarion kid had a different style than the Brown kid, and the Brown kid had a little different style than the Cornell kid. Yeah. So it was just a pretty unique that I got to wrestle a whole bunch of kids there. So
for you to win that bracket, what is it? Is that something that going into it you thought like, hey, I mean, obviously you believe in yourself, you have confidence in yourself, your work ethic, your preparation, your abilities, your God-given talents, but coming out of that, winning that bracket for you, is that something that you take and say, okay, this is one of those key moments early on in the season that I really need to use to catapult me? Is this a momentum moment for you early on in the season? Just what you could say to that effect.
Yeah, I mean, every time you walk away with a victory, your confidence is going to build. You gotta enter all of your competitions with the mindset is you're going to win. You're going to find a way to win no matter what happens throughout the match. You know, you can go down by 3 or get thrown in your back, lose by 7 in the first period. You're going to have to just battle back. So just entering the match knowing with the mindset of I'm going to win regardless of what's going to happen in the first minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, or whatever. You're just going to have to find a way to win when the 7 minutes is up. So it's definitely a confidence builder. It's pretty nice. Hopefully that's going to snowball into the rest of the year. So just pretty excited for that.
Cory Day here in this edition of the Bearcat Breakroom on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora here in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Binghamton University. Cory, how would you describe your style? I mean, you grow up, you learn different things, you take different pieces and put them into your style. When you're on the mat, and I don't want you to give away any of your secrets because I want you to keep winning, but I would love to know some of those elements of your style.
There's no secrets, to be honest. It's really just, just creating action. For me personally, I transitioned to heavyweight a couple of years ago. But for all my life, I wrestled. I was a little guy, to be completely honest. I wrestled in high school, 99 pounds and 106 pounds, and then just all the way up to heavyweight where I made the transition last year. So my kind of style going into these matches when you're wrestling these bigger dudes that weigh up to 285 pounds with me only weighing like 240 is just remembering, speed, being fast, and being agile.
Yeah.
You try to be quicker than these guys because you are. And, you got to try to be more athletic, more coordinated, more just faster. You don't want to get into the heavyweight game where they're just not doing much and trying to drag you down and pull you down a little bit, but just really try to use your speed to your advantage. So that's really just a tactic with that.
You mentioned heavyweight, and you mentioned up to 285 pounds. Last week, when it comes to those that could get up to 285, nationally, you were ranked 14th in the country by Flow Wrestling, and you were ranked 17th in the country by Intermat. To be in the top 20 in the nation for your weight class up to 285, just what you could say to that effect, being ranked in the top 20 right now in the nation by Flow Wrestling as well as Intermat.
I mean, it's cool and all. I don't got too much to say about it because, quite honestly, rankings don't really matter. What comes at the end of the year is everything that does matter. Obviously, when you wrestle these dual meets with your team, you want to win and all that stuff. But at the very end of the year, when you're at the national tournament, the bracket comes out and there's 33 guys at the tournament, all the rankings go away. There's 8 people that are going to get to stand on that podium.
Yeah.
And, hey, doesn't matter what rank you are. You could be the 33rd person ranked, but if you're on that podium at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
And for you, like you said, rankings don't matter. You win your bracket inside of the Big Red, but you said, hey, you took that humbly as well. Just bring me into when you get those accolades, when you have those honors, when you see these things come out in your statistical analysis, when there's things in your bio, if somebody writes an article about you or whatever that may be, how do you compartmentalize and say, I appreciate it, that's great, but I need to focus? Because some people get stuck in, I'm not being honored enough, and some people get in that world of, I'm being honored, I'm starting to feel myself. So how do you stay out of both of those worlds of, man, I deserve more respect, and I'm going to focus and yell about that, or I'm going to sit here with sunglasses indoors because I'm cool as hell? How do you stay away from those two?
It's funny. I think you got to find a happy medium. Personally, I try not to really dive all deep into the media and all the articles and all that stuff. But, at the end of the day, you got to just remember that there's someone that's training out there that might be better than you and they might be training harder than you. And, are you going to let them continue to keep training harder than you and all that stuff? So, really just got to use that as motivation and just know that your competition is working. So you're gonna let them outwork you or no? That's
Yeah.
basically what it comes down
Well, and for you, your work ethic, bring me into it, just how it's developed, the regimen that you have, how you would describe your work ethic, the hours you put in, the time you put in, because we see what happens on a mat, but so many people don't see 90% of what the iceberg is, which is all that work that you're putting in. So we see that 10% at the top of the water. Bring me into the 90% into your work ethic.
to. Man, it's crazy because you do thousands of hours of training just to show what your skill is in 7 minutes or less, and that's pretty crazy. But you know, you train with your team, you train with your coaches, and they put you through some very very hard stuff just to train you for these 7 minutes. Um, but being with a team and you're training really hard and you having a good community and a lot of friends and support system with you when you're training really hard with these people, it makes it a lot easier. To be quite honest, so just training with the team and training really hard and all that stuff, thousands of hours to go into this just to show up for 7 minutes. You just got to have full belief in yourself when you step out there, and that the training that you did do, was enough.
What would you say is one or two pieces of your training now that you've developed and brought in? Maybe something you didn't have in your regimen before that you have added in recent history.
I would say weightlifting. Definitely weightlifting, especially when you're moving up to heavyweight that I made the move a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Just really finding the strength. When you got to move a 285-pound dude a little bit, you're gonna have to use a little bit more muscle than when you were wrestling at like 140 pounds. So really just found the gym over the past few years, and that has really helped my wrestling translate into the matches and stuff like that. So
You talked about the fact of wrestling at 99 pounds, 106 pounds. You just mentioned 140. Now you're wrestling with people that could go up to 285 in the heavyweight. What was that transition like for you and your body when you first made it?
it was definitely a very tough transition. It's funny because prior to that, everyone thinks about losing all this weight. You got to cut down. You got to skim the fat off your body and all that stuff. But I had the complete opposite effect. It was a complete 180 turn on the body. You're trying to bulk now. You're trying to eat 6,000 calories a day. You're drinking these mass protein shakes and all that stuff. I'm drinking a shake that has 2,500 calories in it with all this stuff in there right before the bed, and you're setting an alarm at 3 a.m. just to eat another meal and stuff like that. So it's been quite the ride, to be completely honest. The bulk has been tough, even though people always say that they want to bulk instead of cut. It's definitely an experience of its own. So
For you, do you still enjoy eating? Knowing that you've had to do it as part of your job, so to speak, do you still enjoy it?
I love eating. It is
Okay.
food is awesome.
What is your like guilty pleasure when you let yourself have something that's maybe not in the regimen?
Oh man, I definitely got a sweet tooth, so I'm definitely a probably a chocolate chip cookie, like fresh out of the oven with some vanilla ice cream.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
A little bit of the Cookie Monster. I like that. I
Yep.
can
Yep.
respect it. So there's other, as humble as you've been, I have to mention these things. Two-time national qualifier in 2023 and in 2024. Of course, we're in the 2024-25 season, looking to do that again. But a two-time national qualifier, 3-1 record this season, and mentioned winning your bracket in the Big Red Invitational. And then back in 2023-24, among the national leaders in pins last season with 11 against Division One opponents, and you have two so far this season on top of the two top 20 rankings. When I say all of that, the national, because this is like you said, Binghamton goes into these matches and they're looked at as the little guy in these matches, and you're not given the respect. Y'all got a chip on your shoulder. You go in there as the underdog. But I'm looking at how you've been honored in your national recognition. I don't see underdog on here. Do you still feel like an underdog? Do you think like people are gunning for you and it's different now with these accolades? How do you view it?
I mean, people are definitely gunning for me. Uh, every time you step out there with these rankings, like some say, you would probably have a little bit more pressure because if you did lose to an unranked kid or a kid that's ranked lower than you, then you're gonna drop in the rankings a little bit and all that stuff. But so yeah, people are definitely gunning for your name a little bit, and because who wouldn't want to beat a dude that's established himself a little bit? He wants to come back for a sixth year or a graduate year and wrestle one more time. Who wouldn't want to take the guy that's climbing the mountain now? So it's definitely a little bit more added pressure, but you really just gotta try not to think about it too much and just do what you gotta do when you're out on the mat.
Yeah, no, and I'm excited for what's coming up this season and what you have going on here in December. Vegas, not too shabby, right? Not a bad thing. The Cliff Keen Las Vegas Collegiate Wrestling Invitational is the next thing on the schedule. Bring me into the fact that you and the team will be in Vegas for Binghamton University representing on December 6th and 7th in just, what, a little over a week.
Yeah, Vegas is an awesome tournament. The competition is very, very high up there. Some people say that it's probably the second hardest tournament you can get besides the national tournament. Maybe Big Tens or Big 12s before that, but for the regular season, not including the postseason, it's definitely one of the, if not the hardest tournament. So it is a great opportunity for everyone that's going from Binghamton. I went there last year. It was a really cool experience. You got to wrestle some pretty good guys. Got to wrestle a lot of ranked dudes there and get some wins. And you took some losses there too. I think I got seventh or eighth or something like that last year. But definitely want to go there and knock out some heads there. Excited for the opportunity.
Yeah. Awesome early Christmas gift for you all to go out to Vegas for sure. Well, we're going to jump into rapid fire and have some fun getting to know you inside and outside of wrestling, because it's really whatever you want it to be. There's no pre-planning to this whatsoever. So, Cory, you can ask me anything in the world. I can do the same. And no pressure. This will be on video and audio to people all over the world, literally living anywhere, and to those in space that can get Wi-Fi. So if Elon Musk can get it up there, then we'll find it somewhere up in space as well. Cory, you get the first question. What do you have for me?
What's your favorite NFL football team?
I'm not happy with them right now, but the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh,
yeah,
that is tough. But hey, they're on the incline, I think.
Listen, there's some good guys within the organization. There's some decision making that I haven't been too fond of, and some pieces to the family that I don't see how they help. So either some people need to have a change of heart and get into how the family runs, or maybe they should go sit at a different table. I mean, it's just we need to work on culture. And I said, I think it was week 3, I said Jacksonville has a cultural problem. And then head coach Doug Peterson in week 6 said, we have a cultural problem. So, I mean, I've been around the team for a long time and followed them since they came in 1995. So they have a cultural problem. They need to address it. They need to fix it. They need some leadership. It needs to come from the owner, Shad Khan, down. And Shad Khan, what he does with coaches and GM and everything, to the janitor, there was a welcoming and inviting atmosphere in Jacksonville, and that kind of left this year. And then the team did really bad on the field. And I know that the field is different than behind the scenes, but I can't help but think that when your culture changes and the people and the things they care about change, I'm not surprised that you're seeing a little...
It's going to translate over.
You're seeing a storm, yeah. And I think they pushed some good people out of the building, which I think was wrong. And hopefully they'll address it and fix it and change it, because some people in power, Cory, as you will learn in life if you haven't already, some people in power just like waving the wand. So doesn't mean that they're waving it toward anything good. It just means that they like showing that they can. My question back to you, Cory. You and I are talking here for the first time, but I'm going to put us on the spot here. I want you to put us in a film together. We are in a comedy. Now I'm going to ask you this. Do you have a girlfriend?
I do.
Okay. Well, pretend that you don't because you get to pick a celebrity crush. So if she's listening, much respect and much love. Please don't get me in trouble. I told Cory it's okay. So you got to pick a love interest for you. You got to pick one for me. And in this comedy that we're in, you have to choose what we're doing as a profession and what city we're in.
Wow. Okay, I'll go with. You ever see Wolf of Wall Street? What's
Yes.
that girl's name?
That is, oh my goodness, don't tell me. I know it. It is, she played Harley Quinn. It was just on the tip of my tongue too. Oh my goodness. I can see her face.
Well, that's gonna be yours.
Okay, well, you know what? We're friends already, Cory. You're good people.
Okay.
You are good
Okay.
people. So, okay.
And then I guess I'll go with
Margot Robbie. Margot Robbie. I knew it would
Yeah,
come to me.
that's it.
All right,
That's it.
so Margot Robbie's mine.
Maybe-
Yours is who?
I'll go with the Transformers girl. I think her name is that Megan Fox?
Megan Fox, yeah.
Okay, so I'll go with her. What else we gotta do here? We're in a comedy.
We're in a comedy. You have to give us a profession and you have to give us a city.
Okay. City. We're gonna go to geez. Let's go to Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Why? Because of Tulsa King?
Yeah, yeah. That'll be like it'll be a spin-off from like Tulsa King.
Okay.
And then our profession.
Yeah.
We have to be I think we own a casino together.
We own a casino, spin-off from Tulsa King with Sylvester Stallone. We own a casino in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Megan Fox, Margot Robbie. I would watch this movie.
I think so too.
Yeah. I think we should do it, Cory. I mean, do you know anything about casinos?
I don't know.
Me neither. I think it's a prerequisite to know absolutely nothing about casinos.
I agree.
We'll be okay. So I like that. That's totally fine. I would watch that movie. What's your second question for me?
This is an important one though, because I come from Buffalo.
All right.
All right, you're eating a chicken wing. You're gonna dip it in ranch, or you're gonna dip it in blue cheese.
If it's me, I know I'm going to give you the wrong answer, but I'm going to dip it in ranch.
Wow.
I know.
That's
I understand. And it's only because I just blue cheese. I liked it as a kid, and then your palate sometimes changes, so
right.
it's kind of changed. So I did like it as a kid, but so I would say ranch. And this is not my question for you. I just want to know, going off your question, where is the best place to get wings in Buffalo? Because I was sent somewhere, and I'm not going to say where it was, but they were some of the worst wings I've ever had in my life. So
wow.
I want to know where to
place.
You what?
I'll give you the place.
Okay.
Hands down, number one place in Buffalo to get it is called the Barbell.
The Barbell?
It's East Aurora, New York.
Okay.
Barbell.
Barbell. Okay.
So for everyone that's watching, everyone that's listening, you got to go to Barbell in Buffalo, New York.
You know what I love is that you got closer to the camera than you've been the whole time when you promoted the Barbell. So Barbell, if you have an NIL deal that can work out for Cory Day, then make it happen. Barbell, it seems like it makes too much sense. So get it done. My question back to you. All right, let's stay with food. You are on a deserted island, and for whatever reason, once a week, a plane flies by and parachutes you down one meal. What could you live on for the rest of your life?
Wow.
And it's a meal, so you can put more than one thing in it. Yeah.
Okay. Does it have to be like catered, or like can I make this meal myself on this island?
Whatever you want to do. If you wanna, what is the thing when they send you the food and you put it all together? But I mean, if you want to do that, by the way, I do want to say this. Nobody knows this until right now. So I'm gonna tell you, Cory, and then all of our friends around the world. My ex, years after we broke up, she bought a bunch of food on that HelloFresh. And she sent it all to my house. Like, this was like meals and meals. Wow. It was a huge box. I don't know why it happened all these years later, but I just want to say thank you. so,
That's awesome.
so what is your meal?
I think I'm gonna have to go with. I want to go with pizza and chicken wings. I just really like them.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nothing
pizza and
wrong with
chicken.
that. What's on the
Yeah,
pizza and what's on the wing?
I'm gonna go buffalo chicken pizza, and then the wing is gonna be like not hot, not barbecue. It's like a honey barbecue charcoal wing.
I love honey barbecue, so I'm with it.
Yeah.
Now you realize that you have chicken wings, and then you made your pizza chicken wing pizza. So you are
Yes.
truly a a Buffaloan, a Buffalonian, whatever we call you. You are
Hmm.
truly like all Buffalo. Like you dip chicken wings in your milk in the morning. I mean, like this is you're true Buffalo right there.
That's right.
What's your last question for me?
All right. You're going to the deserted island,
Okay.
and you have to survive there.
Okay.
You get to bring only three things with you. What are those three things going to be? And you have to live there, survive.
All right. Well, I have to think about things that are going to be useful at all times. So I'm going to bring a knife
Hmm.
because I'm going to have to find my own food.
A big knife?
Yeah, like a big old knife,
Hmm.
like a good old machete. So I'm going to bring a knife. I'm going to bring. I thought about that. Do I want that? I'm going to bring a knife. I'm going to bring zip ties because when I make myself a home and I cut down like the bamboo or whatever with my knife, I got to keep them together in order to build my home. So I'm going to bring zip ties. So
Hmm.
zip ties, a knife, and man, for when I'm sleeping, I'm going to have a bear trap so that nobody takes my food and I'm protected.
Wow. That is a crazy list that you just said.
What would you have said?
I don't, a fire starter would be definitely pretty high on my list.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, I mean, you're supposed to be able to rub rocks and sticks and stuff, so I figured those will be there.
Right,
So,
right.
but I thought protect my food, protect myself, have something to make food, and then have something to keep things together so that I can make a home to give myself shelter.
I like it. If you should go on like one of these survival shows, I'd watch that.
Oh, thank you. That's the best answer I probably have ever get because in my head before I don't know what the heck I would say, but for whatever reason I feel like I've evolved in my like okay this is what you need.
Yeah.
So my question back to you: if you could go on any reality show and you can't pick Survivor because we just talked about it, so if you can
Oof.
go on any reality show, and then I'm going to tell you which one that I auditioned for and got called to New York City for, but if you could be on any reality show in the history of reality shows, which one would you be in and why?
Oh, I forget the name of it, but I know what I want to do. Is it called The Challenge or The Challenger?
The challenge is the one with like the old MTV and all that.
Yes, that is the one.
Okay. Why?
Well, one, you could win a lot of money,
Okay.
and two, like that is like it's like a sporty survival athletic event there. I think that'd be pretty awesome. And
Okay.
there's some like scheming that you're gonna have to do too.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
very true. It's
I
very
like
much
that.
like the real world meets Survivor.
Hmm.
So I auditioned for Big Brother and got to go down to New York City for that.
I'm not sure what the Big Brother is, to be
It's on CBS. A bunch of people in a house, and you do a bunch of competitions, and then you vote people out every single week. So you got to have
honest.
a good social game. You got to be smart. You got to be athletic. Got to be able to do all
Wow. Yep.
those things.
And you went?
I didn't get to get on the show. So I
Oh,
I auditioned my first audition of this kind because I've auditioned for other stuff before and I got those, but like I did not when you audition for this stuff, some people dress a certain way, some people go over the top, some people try to
mhm.
make themselves be known where I let my personality kind of speak for me. I also didn't know if I should lie or tell the truth because you get put
Mm.
in scenarios and on the show I don't think I would necessarily say my actual job for a living, because I feel being a broadcaster, people would think, well, he's a good communicator. And if he's a good communicator and he's charismatic, then he's going to have a good social game. We need to get him out of here. So I would probably tell them I did something else for a profession. And when I went on the audition, the people at the table that I was like going up against in conversation, I told the truth of what I did for a living. So I feel like I probably would have said something else. I'm also a terrible liar, so I don't know how that would work out. I'm not a good liar. I believe in God, so if I tell like the tiniest lie, I will call you right back and be like, yeah, see, so I said this and this is not right and I just wanted to clarify. Like, I can't lie to you and then go to bed.
That's funny.
So I would have to withhold truth if I was on
Right.
that show. With that being said, I'm not withholding any truth when I tell you that Cory Day and his team are definitely worth watching at home and on the road. Cory Day and the Binghamton University Wrestling Program just starting off their season here early on. The next time you'll see them out is in Las Vegas. And, of course, inside of the EWAs this year in the Independence Division. For this Bearcat Breakroom, Cory, it has been my absolute pleasure to have you here on the show. And I would like to wish you and your family, all your loved ones, a very happy Thanksgiving and a safe one as well.
Well, thank you. You as well. Thank you for having me on the show.
Here's a message from Renee from Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York. Open Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and Sundays for brunch.
It's a lot like the way that my mom and dad ran their restaurant. We have put in place a lot of people that are family to us, very similar to how my dad hired people that were family to him. And then the tradition I'm carrying on is a lot of the items that are on our menu are my dad's. And he taught our chefs how to recreate his dishes. So I think that Tommy McInerney, who our executive chef is, to him it is an art. And I think that when he does create a dish, it's not just about making the food taste delicious, which is definitely our priority, but it's an art to him, and it's almost like his canvas on a plate where he just wants the colors to look great, and people love it because he takes pride in that. And Bryan and I appreciate that. We want it to obviously look good and taste good. I will tell you, when we opened up, it was 6 weeks before COVID. And what was amazing was the community, our friends and family stepped up, and everybody did takeout. Everybody supported us. Our hearts were just so filled. So to Bryan and I, obviously our friends come all the time, and we just have repeat customers in Jamesville, and I think people going to our previous restaurant in Green Lakes are making the trip to come to Bryan's Landing to support us. And I mean, I think we have great food and a great atmosphere. So it's very, very important to us.
Head to Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York, where memories have become recipes that are now meals to share with you. Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and on Sundays for brunch. And be sure to come out for live music Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Here is a special message from Brian Bruno, owner of Servomation Refreshments Incorporated.
I grew up in the family business, had the experience of working for a national food service company with thousands of employees, and as much as I enjoyed the experience I had, there's something about, owning my own company and being able to change the things I saw wrong with the industry firsthand, which is why I moved back to my hometown in Canastota, New York to launch Servomation. It was back in 2007. When we first started the business in 2007, really you didn't find any machines with credit card readers. There's a lack of variety in machines. You got stuck with basically whatever the vending company wanted to sell that day. There's a lot of inefficiencies in the business, and those were all things that we saw as opportunities, both from a customer level to improve and from an operating level to be more efficient. We've really been at the forefront of introducing retail technology into our space. We were doing self-checkout back in 2009 before it really became a national phenomenon. The whole point of it isn't to just improve the customer experience. It's to make it feel more like a retail environment where people don't have to be afraid of what they're buying behind glass. They don't have to be afraid of not being able to see the ingredients of the packages. It was an easy transaction from that standpoint. If we were to reinvent something, we wanted to make sure what we were making looked and felt more like a deli and not like something that you would traditionally see in a vending machine. I was tired of hearing for years the customers say the wheel of death because the vending machine would circle around with the same tuna salad in it. What we wanted to do was it really change the perception of that food. So allowing customers to touch it, allowing customers to feel the weight of it, allowing customers to see the freshness of it, and also the variety of it really helps them change the perception and ultimately the value of what we bring to them. The point of differentiation you have to make is either in value or the quality. And I think on both of those fronts, Servamation has really, in large part, changed that value system for employees. So they no longer have to worry about bringing their food from home or having to leave their desk during the day and rush out to get back in time for their break to end. We're bringing something that they can count on in their break room every day, and they know it's going to be there, they know it's going to be fresh, and they don't have to worry about it being sold out or something that they don't enjoy. We've also heavily invested in flavored water machine, so you can get a glass of water with a fresh piece of fruit in it, along with bean to cup coffee machine. So there's not a day that goes by we're not surprised when we get customers that call us and say, we didn't know you could do all this. We're really lucky to have a strong group of dedicated employees. Most of our employees have been with us since inception. They're family to us, and people like doing business with people they like and trust. And I think the same thing goes for employees. In a day and an age where there's a lot of corporations that just look at an employee as a number and don't get to know them, that's just not the way I was raised or how I like to do business. So we're a little old-fashioned. We like getting close to our employees. We like knowing how we can help them. We like knowing how we can improve their lives, adjust their schedules, whatever it may be to help improve their quality of life. And we think in the end that makes for a happier employee. We're fortunate enough to have really grown over the last several years, and from Pennsylvania to Massachusetts to Connecticut, we really do have a strong connection, even though we're not in the rooms every day with these employees. There's not one single employee that we feel like we don't know, and certainly we know they can call us at any time, and they're definitely treated as family to us. I wake up every single day really excited to surprise our customers in a good way. The one thing I can tell you is I think that every one of our employees and every one of our customers will continue to be at the forefront of every decision we make.
Find out how Servomation can help you and your business by going to servomation.com. And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. I'm happy to be here with you Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And of course, we have an opportunity to bring you the ingredients to success every Tuesday, where sports meets life on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. And this week, it is my honor and my privilege, as always, to present the ingredients to success from Avicolli's. Avicolli is a tremendous restaurant right here in our community of Central and Upstate New York. It is our exclusive home for our monthly broadcasts with the Liverpool Warriors athletic programs, with their student athletes, coaches, and administration. I want to thank Ari Lieberman, as well as all of Liverpool High School and the community, for your support and your love and your passion for these student athletes, for these coaches, and for the community as a whole. I thank God for my partnership with Avicolli's and for my connection to Liverpool High School. So thank you for that, and much appreciation. With that being said, it is my honor and my privilege to continue the conversation here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora about the ingredients to success. And today's topic is everyday thanks. See, around Thanksgiving, we say, oh, it's time to be thankful. I should be thankful because it's Thanksgiving. So I'm going to remember one time a year what I'm thankful for. And what I would challenge you to do is let Thanksgiving be a reminder, but don't let Thanksgiving be the only time. It's the same thing I would say about any holiday, right? Don't let Valentine's Day be the only day that you tell your loved one, hey, I really care about you. Don't let it be the only day you buy flowers for someone, or chocolates, or get them a nice card, or just pick them up from work and bring them somewhere as a surprise. Don't let a holiday be the only time. Let it be a reminder, and that's okay. But don't let it be the only time that you say what you feel. Everyday thanks is something that I'm working on. You wake up every morning and say thanks to God for waking me up. I could be better at that. I could be better at when I do it. I tend to check my phone so much more often now, God, and I'm sorry about that. Get up, I check my phone, and then I say, God, thanks for waking me up. Don't check your phone. Wake up. Say, thank you, God, for waking me up today. Then look at your phone. Then turn the TV on. Then go downstairs and make some food or whatever you may be doing that day, right? But to me, it's important to say, thank you, God, for waking me up today before I do anything else. As soon as I awake, even before I open my eyes. Thank you, God, for waking me up today. Thank you, God, for surrounding me with love. Thank you for my mom and my dad being here. Thank you for my grandparents up in heaven, and I can still feel their love to this day. I always can. Thank you for my dogs, Morty, Cinnamon, and Shady up in heaven. Thank you to my gerbils I had growing up, Sunny and Magic, and my fish, Daredevil. Thank you to Miss Lily, my daughter, that I love dearly. And I don't even know if a human being could connect with me more than Lily has as my kid. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends that have become brothers and sisters. I'm an only child, yet I'm an uncle to many kids. Thank you for that. Thank you that I'm a godfather. Thank you that I have businesses that have trusted and believed in me, not once, not twice, but over and over again. Thank you for second chances, sometimes third and 11th chances. Thank you for understanding parents that talk to me even when they're frustrated with me. Thank you for the ability to travel. Thank you that I get to do what I love and love what I do. That is a rarity. And just because it's my life doesn't mean I shouldn't know that and understand that and be humbled by that and appreciate that every day. Thank you that I make enough money to do what I love and love what I do, to be able to travel, that my work is my play and my play is my work, and that I get to have that I'm not sitting here going, well, I'm going to do a job I hate for 350 days just so I can have 15 days of vacation time to not be around these people. Thank you that I've always stood up to adversity. No matter how much I've complained, worried, and fretted about it, none of it has ever stopped me. And may I focus on the fact that I've never stopped and not on the fact that it continues to be there. Thank you for kind messages, good hearts, wonderful people. Thank you for angels that have met me along the road, especially many that have met me this year and that I've met. Thank you for learning how to grow and being a relationship guy, and learning how to get rid of bad habits and connect myself to somebody, and even if I'm afraid, to saddle up anyways and give myself a shot. Thank you for growing. Thank you for knowing where I'm wrong, knowing my bad habits, knowing how to change them, having tools in the toolbox that I didn't have before. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to do the right thing. Thank you for giving me a chance after I fumbled the first one, or the second one, or the third, or the ninth. Thank you for good movies. Thank you for my hobbies. Thank you for my ability to sing. Thank you for my ability to make people laugh. Thank you for the fact that when I celebrated 21 years, I was overwhelmed by the love and the support. Everyday thanks, folks. I didn't write any of that stuff down. That's just coming off my heart. It's coming from my mind. What are you thankful for? And do you say thank you every single day? Do you say thank you throughout the day? Do you say thank you when life is tough? Or do you just say thank you when you get what you want? Do you just say thank you when it's easy? Because everybody can do that. Everyone can say thank you when everything works out. You don't want the people that are just there when it's sunny. You want the people that are there in the storm. You want the people that are going to pick up the phone at 3 o'clock in the morning when you call. You want people that are going to be there when you cry. They're going to be there when you laugh. They're going to be there when you don't know. They're going to be there when you do know. They're going to be there and support you when you feel like the only person that believes in something. And they're going to be there to support you when you don't know what to believe in. If you have those people, which I do, love them. I've been asking God my whole life for love because I have always believed in it. I want to have a beautiful wife, inside and out, a wonderful life with her, kids. And I've asked God for love over and over again. And I'm looking at my life and I'm going, He sent it to me. And just because it hasn't come from having a wife and kids yet, is Lily not unconditional love? Have my parents not shown me a special, devout, consistent, we're going to be here love? Have my friends not shown me that? Have my nieces and nephews, my friends that have become brothers and sisters, have they not shown me that? Has my priest not shown me that? Have the businesses that have believed in me not shown me love? See, I asked God for love, and I was looking at it coming in one way. And God looked at me and said, I've been giving you love your entire life. You asked for it, and you keep wondering why I didn't give it to you. I gave it to you already. I gave it to you in abundance. You asked for love. You got it. And I think it's important in our lives to not focus on what we don't have, but to focus on what we do have. It's not to say that you don't strive for it. It's not to say that you don't work for it. It's to say that if you don't have it yet, it's okay. Well, Dan, I don't have my dream job yet. Well, keep working toward it. Don't work away from it, because then you're never going to have it. Work toward it. Well, Dan, I don't have that relationship. My friends are all getting married, having kids. They look so happy. I don't have that. Well, keep working toward it. Be relationship ready. Right? The Bible says, and I never understood this until a woman was talking about it, and it just hit me different. She said, a man that findeth a wife findeth a good thing. That's what's in the Bible. And she said, it doesn't say a man that finds a woman. It doesn't say a man that finds a lady. It doesn't say a man that finds a girlfriend. It says a man that findeth a wife findeth a good thing. Which means that we should be looking for men and women that are prepared to be your partner for the rest of their lives. That when you meet them, they're not doing bad things, dress in a certain way, act in a certain way, but that they're prepared when you meet them. He that findeth a wife findeth a good thing, someone who is prepared. Because a lot of women want to get married, and a lot of men want to get married, and a lot of people want to be husbands and wives, but they forget that get ready part, right? I want to meet the man of my dreams. Well, are you ready for that? I want to meet the woman that I spend the rest of my life with. Well, are you ready for that? I want to work in movies, Dan. Well, what if they called you today? Do you have the confidence? Have you rehearsed? Do you know a way to learn your lines? Have you taught yourself good habits? Do you get enough sleep? Are you drinking enough water? Are you challenging yourself with your voice? What are you doing to be prepared? You're asking for something, but are you ready for it? We have no problem asking God for things, but how many of us get ready for it? Right? If I had a nickel for every time I heard a woman say to me, I'm not ready for a guy like you. You're too good of a guy. You're too nice of a guy. I don't know if I deserve it. I don't know if it's real. I don't know if I... So you would have been ready if I was a jerk? It would have made you feel better if I was, the average person that you typically date, just some guy who doesn't really care? Well, I wanted a good guy. I wanted a guy who had his life together, but now that I have that, I don't really know how to treat it because I've never had it before. Okay. Well, let me tell you something. If I was drowning and God threw me a raft, I wouldn't say, well, I've never been in a raft before. I don't know if I should get in this raft. I don't know if I can handle this raft. Because if I say that, well, I'm going to die in the water. And it's amazing to me how people in relationships, business, dreams, anything, where to live, we're always asking God for things. And when God gives them to us, how many of us drown instead of taking the raft? Well, I don't know if I deserve the raft. I don't know if I can handle the raft. I don't even know anything about the raft. I've never been with a raft. Every time I've asked for a raft, I had a shark come at me instead. So you're telling God that's what you would prefer? You'd prefer a shark instead of a raft? See, I don't have that in me. For God to send me a blessing and go, yeah, I know I asked for it, but I don't know if I deserve it. And there has been moments where I've thought that way, and that's wrong. For you to think that you shouldn't be blessed in your life, and I'm not saying to have an ego, I'm saying if you think like you deserve pain and angst and all this stuff, life is going to hand you a lot of different things. And life is going to show you a lot of different things. And you're not always going to be ready for what life gives you. But that doesn't mean you can't get ready. And it doesn't mean you can't be better prepared now than you were before. See, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. We all want stuff in our lives, right? Most of us want enough money to pay our bills, be able to travel, do fun things. We want water, we want shelter, we want clothes, we want food. We want to have people around us that love us. A lot of us want to have a significant other that we can love and be intimate with and affectionate with and connected to and have that special relationship. A lot of us want to have kids and we want to raise them and we want to have that be a legacy of our family, that we do better by them than maybe was done by us, and we keep paying it forward. You know, we want to live our dreams. We don't want the ceiling to block us. We don't want anything to block us. But how many of us are willing to break through the ceiling if it is blocking us? How many of us are willing to go beyond? You know, how many times do we settle, right? Someone's like, I'm in a relationship with someone I don't want to be with, but I'll just have kids with them, and that'll make it better. I'll just have kids with them because I want to have kids. So even though I don't want to be around this person, I'll at least have kids with them. How many people get to a point where, like, we just want kids? So we'll have it with any old person, regardless of how bad that situation might become in our lives, just so we can have them. How many of us settle? Well, why are you with her? Well, because I've been with her for 7 years and I don't really feel like going out in the dating pool. All my friends say it's crazy. That's a good reason. Well, why are you in this job? Well, it pays me a lot of money. I hate it. My boss is a total jerk to me, but I make a lot of money. I can feed my family. Well, what about you? Well, I'm going to die unhappy, but my family will eat. If your family truly loves you, it's not that they don't want to eat. But I would never, ever have put up with my mom and dad coming home saying, I hate my life, but it allows you to have a good one. I don't want that for my parents. I don't want my parents to live a terrible life so that I can live a good one. Well, Dan, that's what being a parent's all about. No, it's not. I would never want someone to suffer for my benefit. Jesus already did that. And I wish there was another way. Why would I want him to die or anybody to die so that I can live? If Jesus was looking me in the eye and said, I'm going to die so you can live, I would say, give the cross to me. Let me die. Why do you have to die? Will God take my sacrifice the same as yours? If I can spare you, you're perfect. I'm not. I have plenty of sins. Let me go on the cross. Let me die for you. Let me die for them. See, we think so much about us. And we think so much about what we don't have. And we're coming around Christmas time. And we think about Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, where are my gifts at? I don't have PlayStation, I want a PlayStation. I don't have a car, I want a car. I don't have a phone, I want a phone. But what about what you have? So you got the phone. Do you have people that you have really good relationships that you can call and trust? Because those are more important than the phone. You got a PlayStation. You can play video games, spend the rest of your life in a basement. Do you have people that you can call over to play the video games? Do you have people that can get you out of the house and want to do things with you and want to see you grow and blossom? You want a car, but where are you going to drive to? Do you have aspirations? Do you have dreams? Or are you just going to sit in your driveway? See, the things that we ask for are not more important than what we're going to use them for. God gives you blessings and He gives you talents. And they say the gift that we give back to God is what we do with those talents. The gift God gives us is, I've blessed you with these things, my child. I've given you these gifts. The gift back to God is what you do with them. Well, I can sing, but I'm afraid to. But God gave you a voice. Well, I don't want to become a professional singer. You don't have to be. Sing in church. Sing to your kids. Sing for a commercial. Sing in the car. Your talents, your blessings, your things to be everyday thankful for, don't forget about those things when you get locked into, I didn't get what I just wanted right now from this situation. If I had gotten the first dog that I was open to looking at, I wouldn't have Lily. So I'm happy it didn't work out. If I had stayed in my marriage, I wouldn't be the man I am today. And I hope that she's a better woman too. So if we stayed together, we would have held each other back. We weren't right for each other. And I didn't want to be in her way, and I didn't want her in mine. So I'm not mad at her. I'm actually really thankful. I always say to myself, she tripped and saved my life. Thank goodness she accidentally saved my life. And I hope she's good. I really do. I don't pray anything for me that I wouldn't pray for her. Not because I want to be with her, not because I'm in love with her, but because why would I want something bad to happen to someone just because it didn't work out? See, if God had given us everything that we thought we wanted or that we settled for, where would we be right now? You got to be uncomfortable, nervous in your stomach, that stomach rolling and rolling and rolling when you're going to make that phone call to ask that person out, when you're going to call to see if you got that job, when you're going to go online and check to see if you got into that school, if your grades were where they needed to be, when you're checking that SAT score, when you open that email to see if you got the house. You need those nerves. It helps you know that you're alive. I don't want to be nervous, Dan. I don't want to be scared. I don't want to be worried. Then you never know if you're actually alive. Right? I'm not telling you to sit and worry. I'm not telling you to live in fear. I'm saying that feeling of, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. The day I stop caring about being on the air, I shouldn't be on anymore. The day you wake up and you look over at your wife or your husband and you go, oh, whatever, I could care less if they were in this bed. Then what are you doing there? You know, life has a way of humbling you. It has a way of reminding you of your blessings. And don't wait for that moment of saying, man, I wish I told my mom that. Man, I wish I spent more time with my dad. I wish I went to see my grandparents. I wish I told her I loved her when I had her. You know, people say you don't know what you got until it's gone. They write songs about it. They make movies about it. Why haven't we learned yet? That you don't truly appreciate something until you lose it. I don't want to be with those people. I want to be with the people that appreciate me while I'm around and don't risk losing me. You know, my parents taught me a valuable lesson a long time ago. They said never go to bed angry. Don't go to bed with unfinished business, right? If you got to say something, say something. Because if not, what if something happens to you or happens to them? I had a really difficult conversation a couple weeks ago. I didn't want to have the conversation, but I knew I had to because I didn't want to go to bed anymore thinking about it. It didn't go the way I wanted it to go. I didn't get what I was hoping for. But you know what I got from it? Peace. You know what I got from it? I didn't go another night with my stomach in knots. I didn't go another night not knowing, not understanding. I would rather hear a business say no than be too afraid to call and wait 3.5 months driving myself nuts. Is it going to be yes? Is it going to be no? We don't like hearing no. Human beings don't like hearing no. It makes us feel inadequate. Makes us insecure. We don't think we're good enough if we hear no. If she says no, if he says no, if the business says no. If we hear no, we think we are being hit with something. And I look back on my life. If God gave me the woman I had a crush on in high school, I don't even know where the heck I would be. I probably wouldn't be here. And I don't know if she would have supported me. I don't know if she would have even understood what I did. You know, we think we know what we want. And sometimes we do. But the best thing that I can tell you with being thankful every day is never be afraid or forget to tell God thank you. We always go to God when we need something, even those that don't believe in God, even those that haven't talked to him in years. When we need something, we go to God. It's convenient to not believe in God unless you need him for something. But you should also go to God when you get what you want, right? Well, I got the girl now. What do I need to pray to God for? To say thank you. Well, I got the job. What do I have to go to God for now? I got what I wanted. God has a way of humbling us. He has a way of humbling us. And he also has a way of, if we're in something and we're doing good and then we start to turn a negative corner, that God might stop that thing, not because he wants it to go away forever, but he's like, I can see what you're going to do, and I can see that you're going to ruin this. I could see that you're standing in your own way. I need you to learn. So I'm going to halt it. I'm going to give you a chance. And if you fix yourself, you get right, okay, then when we start this thing again, we're good. But if you don't, you're going to lose it twice. And if you lose it a second time, you're probably going to lose it forever. Like when a boss calls you in and says, hey, you can't be late anymore. You can't be late anymore. If you're late one more time, I got to fire you. Well, God says, okay, you should have known that before. You knew you shouldn't be late, but now you've been late. Now you're in a crisis. Now you're in a situation. Will you be on time? Or will you be on time because you're afraid to lose your job, and then 3 months down the road when your boss isn't bothering you about it anymore, do you go back to it? God is not interested in us learning something for a little while. He's interested in us learning and implementing good habits for the rest of our lives. God, I've done this for 20 years. Then I stopped for a year, and then I went right back to it for 10. Okay. I'm happy you stopped for a year, but you're right back where you started. If you're a worrywart, you got to learn not to be. If you second guess yourself, you got to learn not to. If you're paranoid, you got to learn not to be. If you question all the time, you got to learn not to. If you don't have confidence in yourself, you got to learn how to get confidence in yourself. If you don't have dreams, you better start working on having some. Because people without dreams, they don't really live. Living in fear and worry and doubt and questioning, it doesn't provide you a good life. Trust me, I know that. And when you find yourself falling back into, I'm not good enough, I'm not adequate enough, I can't, it's above me, she's above me, he's above me, the job's above me, the dream's above me, the house is above me, I'm too afraid. It's never going to teach you anything. Living in fear will keep you in a place where your bad habits will continue to grow in the dark. You know, they say that a plant can never grow in the dark, but you know what can grow in the dark? Bad habits. Those can grow in the dark. They flourish in the dark. Because the devil is the master of fear, not God. You know how they say God is a God of peace and gives you hope in a future? He's not a God of chaos. He's not a God of confusion. So if something or someone comes into your life and it's chaotic and it's confusing and it drives you nuts, it's probably not good for you. I'm not saying it drives you nuts in a playful way. I'm saying when something in your life is causing you pain, causing you harm, causing you to worry and doubt and second guess yourself and put yourself down, chaotic, toxic things are not from God. Sometimes things come into your life and you have chaos because you have bad habits and you don't believe that you deserve the thing you got. And that's on you. Other times things come into your life and they're chaotic and toxic because they're chaotic and toxic and you need to get them out of your life. You know, you realize the reality of it's a lot of truth into people come into your life when you're in pieces and they give you peace. They help put you back together. And then there's people that find you in peace and leave you in pieces. I've been in both of those relationships. I've been around people where I was peaceful, friends and romantic, where I was at peace and they created chaos. They weren't good for me. And then I was in places where I was in pieces and those friends helped to reassemble me without me even knowing. I've never been in a relationship romantically where a woman found me in pieces and helped me find peace. Not fully. Because I haven't met the one yet. But I've met those friends because they're my brothers and my sisters. So are you willing in your life today to wake up in the morning and before you do anything else, including checking all of your devices, will you join me in thanking God for your life? Will you join me in thinking about the things that you have and not the things that you don't? Will you join me in actively getting your brain and your heart to focus on what is important, positive, and actually in your life versus what is not? We focus on what we don't have, and I don't want you to do that. I want you to have the dream of being a screenwriter and not sit here and go, well, I don't have it, and nobody's read my script. And I don't want you to think about what you don't have. I want you to write the script. And maybe they pick it up or maybe they don't. Maybe God just wanted you to write it. I don't know what the answer is, but write the script. Ask the girl out. Ask the guy out. Go for that house. Go for that job. Make that move. Go out on your own. Stop having roommates. Give yourself a chance to live and grow and flourish on your own. Clean up your house. Be on time. Show up for your kids. Spend more time with your animals. Call your mom more. See how your dad's doing. Instead of thinking about the things you don't have and you can't control that you don't have them, do what you can. If I want to be a screenwriter and I don't have a script, I ain't ever going to make it. Do your part. And be thankful for the journey. Be thankful for the job. Don't be mad when that girl or that guy says no or that boss says no. Be grateful because that no is getting you closer to the yes. All those no's I got me closer to my first job out of college. All of those lies and people that didn't appreciate me got me closer to me starting my own business. All those women that I dated that it didn't work out with because I wasn't interested or they weren't interested because I didn't feel good or they didn't feel good or we both didn't feel good. All of those tears, all of those painful moments led me closer to the fact that I'm going to meet the one soon. And she is going to be worth it. All of that time between having Shady pass away and finding Lily, I needed that. So that I could find Lily. Every time you look back on a blessing you have in your life, it stands to reason that all of that time that you went through and that pain and the adversity and the walls and everything that you put up or somebody else put up that you went through, And you were like, why? And then you get to the thing. Do you ever look back and go, that's why? I'm not going to look at God and say I'm 39 years old and I don't have this. Because when I've done that, I'm sorry, God, I have felt miserably horrible. How dare I tell God I'm mad at you for not giving me what I want when I got everything else? I got things I didn't even know that I wanted in my life. He gave me everything I needed. And I've been asking him about what I want. And you know what he said to me? You ain't ready yet, kid. You're almost there, but you ain't ready yet, kid. I'm going to give you another shot to get ready. Be thankful every day, not just on holidays and not when it's convenient and not when you're trying to get something from somebody. Look up to God. Talk to him before you do anything else with the day. Talk to him throughout the day. Don't just talk to him on Sundays or Saturdays. Don't just talk to him when you need something. Talk to him first thing in the morning, last thing at night. Be thankful for what you have. And when you get caught up in your old habits, your bad habits, pull yourself out of that for a second, as hard as it may be. And it's going to be really, really hard. But after a while, habits over time, 21 days, 3 weeks to create a habit, good or bad, and then stick with it. Take yourself in that moment and say, every time I do this, it screws things up. Pull yourself out. Got to be cognizant. You have to gain knowledge and wisdom. Pull yourself out and say, hey, whether this works out or not, I'm happy that it's working out right now. Right? Do any of us buy a new car and go, every single day, get in the car and go, I hope it runs, I hope it runs, I hope it runs. What if it doesn't run someday? I hope it runs. What if it doesn't run? What if something happens to it? Then all of a sudden, you have bled away 3.5 years, and now you got to fix your muffler, and you're like, see? When God's looking at you going, your car was fine for 3.5 years, and you didn't enjoy it. You spent 3.5 years wondering about this moment. Now you're in this moment. You're mad about being in this moment. But all the good moments with the car, you didn't enjoy. You got a rough moment with the car right now, but you spent 3.5 years plus right now in the same mood. Instead of saying, God, thank you that I have a car that runs. And every car eventually is going to need to get fixed because cars are made by human beings and human beings aren't perfect. So before you curse out God and yell at God and scream and feel sorry for yourself and cry and think that you're not this and you're inadequate and your insecurities and your bad habits come out, before you use the Lord's name in vain and say, why didn't you give me what I wanted? If you're alive today, which obviously if you're watching and listening, you are. If I was God, I would respond to you with every complaint you have by saying, are you happy that you're alive today? And some of you might say no, which is sad. No, I'm not, because I don't have what I want. And God would say, but you're alive. Yeah, but God, you didn't hear me. I might want to kill myself. I might want to jump. I can't do this life anymore. And you know what God would say? Someone's in a hospital bed right now wishing that they could jump. Not to kill themselves, just wishing they could jump in a pool. Jump up and down. Jump in a sport. Jump right up into bed. Right? Jump on a bed. There are people in wheelchairs that wish they could get up and jump. You're talking about jumping off a cliff. They're talking about jumping in jubilation, excitement. Someone who's blind would love to know what that looks like. Someone who's deaf would love to hear what that song sounds like. Trust me. In the middle of a storm, it is so hard to focus on the things I'm asking you to focus on. But I'm telling you now, because we have to be able to. And if you say, Dan, it's impossible, I'm going to remind you of something. They say inside of the eye of a storm, it's completely peaceful and quiet. So the next time you have a storm in your life, instead of focusing on the chaos, take a deep breath, act like you're in the eye of it, and feel at peace in knowing that just because the storm's going on around you doesn't mean you have to be a part of it. The world is always going to throw you a storm. You don't have to be a part of it. I love you all. We'll take a step aside. These have been the ingredients to success, focusing on everyday thanks. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We'll be back after this. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
All right, you need to come out here and get yourself the Brooklyn Pickle. I was talking about this with one of my buddies. I was like, yo, there's no better sandwich in the state of New York than the Brooklyn Pickle. And now that I found out that they're going down to North Carolina, we are taking over your taste buds everywhere you are, wherever you're going to be. You need to get yourself out to the Brooklyn Pickle. Pinehurst, you just realized that you found yourself the best sandwich shop that you're ever going to have. This is a glorious moment. It's a blessing to your community. You're welcome. Brooklyn in the house, baby. Go over to the Brooklyn Pickle. You already know what it is.
You heard the man. Head to Brooklyn Pickle Pinehurst on 1788 Old Morgantown Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina. Avicolli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicolli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicolli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there, and of course you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100, and also find them on myavicollis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Campground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Campground and where your dog will be staying, in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Campground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9campground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and campground spelled with a K.com. K9campground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks, coming to you on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York, is your one-stop sports card and trading card shop. Perfect place to go for your holiday gift giving and supporting local business. Head off to GG Cards and Breaks Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Sundays from 10 to 5. They have so many great things from soccer to hockey to baseball, basketball, football, Disney Lorcana, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, as well as Magic the Gathering. You will find everything you need to protect your cards, all of the great stuff right there at GG Cards and Breaks. Singles, graded cards, packs, boxes, one-of-ones, RPAs, rookie patch autos, as well as relic cards, autographed rookie cards, autographed cards in general. You never know what you're going to find at GG Cards and Breaks. They have an amazing array of products. If you've never collected cards before, this is the best place to go to start. And if you have been collecting all your life, well, this is a great place to continue, and it will quickly become a home to you. Thank you to GG Cards and Breaks. It all starts with Josh and Anthony, and I want to thank the entire team at GG Cards and Breaks for being local, for being kind, for being caring, and for all the work that they do. Tuesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., and on Sundays from 10 to 5 and beyond. And, of course, 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. With that being said, I want to thank you for tuning in to the Fantasy Football Power Hour a day early this week due to the Thanksgiving holiday. I want to thank you for tuning in to my conversation with the wonderful Cory Day of Binghamton Bearcats Wrestling that have just started off their season, and he just went undefeated in his bracket at the Big Red Invitational. Can't wait to see what he's going to do and the team out in Las Vegas December 6th and 7th. Looking forward to their entire season this season and their play inside of the EWAs as well. God bless to Cory Day and the entire team for Binghamton Wrestling and the Bearcats in general and our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership. And thank you to joining me for the conversation in this Ingredients to Success about being thankful every day. Go to Avicolli's, who proudly brings you the Ingredients to Success every day of the week. They're now open on Mondays, lunch, dinner, and drinks. Always drink responsibly. and they are on 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York, the exclusive home of our sit-down Liverpool Warriors broadcast on-site on location every month at Avicolli's. And, of course, you can go to myavicollis.com to order online. That's myavicollis.com. And, of course, you could call them for takeout, delivery, and catering at 315-622-5100. That's 315-622-5100. Wake Up Call is live for you Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time on youtube.com and facebook.com, both /Wake Up Call DT. And, of course, you can find us as well on wakeupcalldt.podbean.com, which is live internet streaming radio. It also has our archive of over 1,600 episodes. So if you go to wakeupcalldt.podbean.com and subscribe and follow us for free, you'll know when we're live, and you'll also be able to go back and watch and listen to shows that go back over 10 years. Big time thanks to all of the wonderful podcasting communities we're a part of: Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. All you got to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT, and make sure you subscribe and watch and listen to us on these wonderful, wonderful channels. And, of course, many thanks to Brooklyn Pickle down in Southern Pines, North Carolina. There's nothing like the Brooklyn Pickle. We know it up here in Central New York, and now you know it down in Southern Pines on 1788 Old Morganton Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina. Big time thanks to the Brooklyn Pickle for all that you do. To Craig Kowadla, Brian Bruno, and the entire team down at Southern Pines, we appreciate you, and thank you for entrusting me in your first year in business. A big time thanks to all of our partners here in Central and Upstate New York: Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, Servomation, Mother's Cupboard, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Avicolli's, GG Cards and Breaks, Mon Paz, the snack capital of the world on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York, Fire Pit Barbecue and Saloon, Great Lakes, Honda City, Pizza Man, Canine Campground Dog Boarding, Chick-fil-A Cicero, Brian's Landing, and, of course, we are the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Lemoyne College Dolphins. It's Fins Up every single month with the Dolphins every Wednesday during Dolphin Time Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. The Dolphins come to you with conversations you won't find anywhere else quite like this. We have over 3 years of broadcasts that you can find by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find our Lemoyne playlist. We dive into the stories of student athletes, coaches, administration, future Dolphins, and alumni Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. And, of course, you can also find the Dolphins on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to LeMoyneDolphins.com and Fins Up. The Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Find the Bobcats and what is called the Bobcat Buzz every single month with student athletes as well as administration and coaches from the beautiful Syracuse Bobcats. Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse. You will find them on James Street, right up the road from downtown Syracuse. You also find them right across the street from Avicolli's off of Route 57 in Liverpool, New York. Two awesome locations, great job placement, and great opportunities for you. Find out more information by searching Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse. And for the athletics, you can go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com. And, of course, you can find the Bobcat Buzz, all of our content with the Bobcats, by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, find the BSC Syracuse playlist. The Bobcats are also on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. Go Bobcats. The Binghamton University Bearcats are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Find the Bearcats every single Tuesday, like today, at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, telling the stories of student athletes, coaches, and administration. Moments with Marshall, joining Gene Marshall, Binghamton University Athletics Director, on the journey of Binghamton and who the Bearcats are, and the Bearcat Breakroom with those student athletes, coaches, and administration, telling you their stories about their journey, why they chose Binghamton, and what it all comes down to for them as we get to know them in a personal way that you won't find truly like this just anywhere else. Big time shout out to the Bearcats. They are on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and of course find the Binghamton playlist. You can also find the Bearcats on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to binghamtonbearcats.com and go Bearcats. One time, once more, thanks to the Wildcat Sports Club for our fantasy football coverage and being the host of our Central New York Fantasy Football Leagues every single year. God bless to them for Captains on Crew, as well as, Captains on Call and the Gridiron Gurus League that we have there, both of those leagues. Big time thanks to Cory Day and Binghamton Wrestling, as well as David O'Brien and John Hartrick and everybody that helps me set up these wonderful stories behind the scenes. And many thanks to Avicolli's for the ingredients to success. Head over there for lunch and dinner today. Have a wonderful day. God bless, no stress. Do your best. I'll talk with you tomorrow, God willing. Papa Joe, a day